Hey guys, what is going on? This is Travis P11. I want to welcome you back to the channel, and I'm happy to announce after a couple of years of complaining of not having this in my firearms collection, I finally got a Makarov pistol. And just to let you know, this pistol has been safety checked prior to us filming. And I'll tell you what, this is the first time I've ever actually handled one, and I really do like the ergonomics. The feel of it seemed to be really well. I have not fired it yet, but I've already decided to make this part of my daily carry. Now, don't get me wrong, here's my little disclaimer. As is, this pistol is perfectly fine. Out of the box, it'll function, it'll work. It's worked for many countries, for lots of people, for many years, unmodified. And everything I'm going to show you here, these are just suggestions. I haven't even tried any of these, but I have actually ordered quite a few of these parts that you're about to see, and we're going to be testing them on the channel. Now, the whole idea behind this is to make this handgun more reliable, to make this handgun more effective, to make this handgun more comfortable to shoot and more comfortable to carry. So what I have is a Baikal Russian manufacturer commercial export 9x18 Makarov pistol. Now, with it being a commercial export, there's a few differences between it. The main one is that, well, first of all, it's not a milsurp. Okay, this was actually made for export to the United States in the 1990s. I think they were produced and exported between 93 and 96, or 1994 and 1996. And I've got an adjustable rear sight. So when you get it, you might feel like there's some limitations with that rear sight, or if there's any problems with it holding zero, this might be a reason to maybe scare you away from going with one that's got kind of the dovetailed rear sights. And I'm happy to report that that doesn't have to be the case. So what I'm going to do is take you through my recommendations for parts that will make this firearm more effective, maybe not necessarily more reliable, as the Makarov design is already fairly reliable right out of the box, and then just also a better daily carry pistol. So starting off, one of the first things that I always hear in suggestions, that I see in the forums, that I hear in discussions with my friends that own Makarov pistols, is the first thing they do is they go and replace the recoil spring. Now, they are very good springs. The Makarov pistols are not known to have massive amounts of failures, but the springs can wear out, and I have no idea how many rounds are actually on this pistol. And with the recoil spring being a major component of this blowback style handgun, just like it is on many other handguns, I didn't want to take any chances, so we decided to go ahead and get ourselves a new spring. So we headed over to gunsprings.com, and these are the Wolf brand replaceable springs. It's WOLFF. Now, they offer different pound weights. I'm going with just the factory 17-pound spring weight. I don't like to mess around with modifying components that affect the way the gun functions, especially when it comes to the recoil spring, okay? So $7.89. The shipping was a little over $4. I've got one coming, and we'll shoot it before and after and see if we notice a difference, and also check and see if we see a difference in reliability. I'm going to try to put at least 100 rounds of my carry ammo through this Makarov, as well as just some range ammo to really break in that recoil spring to make sure it's going to function the way I want it to. All right, so the first upgrade I'm going to be making on the Makarov pistol is going to be the Wolf spring. Okay, moving on. When it comes to the grip, the grips are fine. They've actually got some decent texturing on them, and some lines on the back strap. On the front, it's smooth. I might put some skateboard tape on there, or get a cutout, like a town grip piece to put on the front. We'll see how it handles, but that's probably the only bad thing, is you don't have any kind of checkering or any kind of stippling on the front there. These Bakelite plastic grips, I want to keep these in good shape as they are the original grips, and all these modifications I'm going to show you, none of this stuff is permanent. You can still bring the gun back to its stock form if you want to, say for a sale or trade or what have you. So this grip is going to come off. It's just a one-piece Bakelite plastic grip, and as you can see on the screen, we've got the aftermarket grip from Fab Defense. Now, this offers you three different advantages, in my opinion, over the stock grip. First of all, you've got a nice aggressive texture on the rear and the sides. I've actually held this in my hand but didn't buy it because I didn't have a Makarov at that time, but I was pretty interested in the part. And so this is a nice aggressive grip texturing. Okay, that's your first component. Second, it's going to add an additional beaver tail off the back, which is going to prevent slide bite. Also, if you would have a less than perfect grip on the gun, it would help ensure that first shot, you're not going to end up doing any damage to the web of your hand. Say you're struggling with somebody, or you have to draw quickly. Having that molded in beaver tail is going to help seat your hand on the gun faster, in my opinion, all right, versus not. Also, you have a little slide here, and this little slide knob, what this does is this is a mechanical link to the European heel style release, which is basically a button on the bottom of the pistol grip that releases the magazine. Well, when you slide this little lever, what it does does is it causes the magazines to release. Now, I've seen some videos on it. It seems to be like a reliable mechanism. It is a metal link. It's something that's not going to break, and it does physically attach itself to the heel release. And I like that. I like the fact that it should work. Okay, obviously I'm going to test it, make sure it has no issues at all. This also kind of modernizes the feel more like the pistols that I'm used to shooting, and that's another reason why I want to go with it. So that's reason number 3. 1, the texturing. 2, the addition of the beaver tail on the back here, and then also 3, the little slider that's going to eject the magazines. In the bottom, you do have a lanyard loop, which I'll be taking this little loop off, but that little mount is there if you want it. And when you mount it on the gun, it's interesting because it kind of seems to, it kind of hops it up and gives it a more futuristic look than maybe the gun really needs because, you know, it's such a classic design. But for me, it's all about the function of the firearm. And if this is going to enhance it and make it a better carry weapon, a more, not necessarily reliable, but a more shootable carry weapon, then it's something that I'm definitely going to do. So I got this ordered. I did order it directly from Fab Defense. They're doing a 10% off Father's Day discount code. You'll have to check their website. And they do have LE and military discounts. I believe that they're made in Israel, but I did order from the Fab Defense USA store, and I believe it was like 48 bucks. It comes in OD green, tan, and black. I just went ahead and went black. The OD green's a little bit brighter of an OD green than what I like, and it looks cool, but I just decided to go all black. So that's what it's going to look like once I get the grip mounted, and we'll show that process once it happens. Now, with this commercial model, again, you've got this adjustable rear sight. So if you'd happen to pick one of these up and it would be missing any kind of screws or anything, or not keep zero, or be kind of loose, or any issues whatsoever, if you go over to gunpartswarehouse.com for $32, you can upgrade the rear sight on the commercial model to a fixed rear sight. Okay, and I don't know what kind of adjustability this offers, if you can move it or not. Well, it says fixed. Once you screw it in there, it may not move. So I'm just saying that you might be setting yourself up with whatever kind of accuracy you can get. So it's made for the Makarov IJ70, which is what the Baikal model is that I have. Now, will this work with the 380 version or the 9mm Parabellum version? I don't know, but this one does work with the 9x18 Makarov version, okay? So $32. I did not order this because I want to see how the sights work before I decide to go ahead and upgrade and spend more money on the gun than I already did. But if these sights are fine, we're going to leave it. If they don't move, that's fine, although this does give them a slightly slimmer profile, and you do have a little bit of a ledge here, and this is all metal, so if you had to do a one-handed charge, you could do so without breaking off the sights, whereas on this gun, you've got this lip on the back that would probably snap off if you had to charge the weapon with one hand, okay? So anyway, that's the fixed rear sight over there at gunpartswarehouse.com. Now, when it comes to carrying the firearm, if you type in Makarov holster over on eBay, there's something like 2,900 options that pop up. What I don't like is when a holster is cross-listed with multiple models, especially if that holster isn't marketed that way originally, because there are some holsters that are designed to fit, you know, a ton of handguns. But like they have this holster cross-listed with certain models of Bursa and things like that. I decided just to go with something that's dedicated and designed specifically for the Makarov. Now, if you go over to eBay, this is the VL Tactical Kydex inside the waistband holster. This is actually coming from the European country of Georgia. I did actually get mine ordered this morning. It's supposed to be here by the end of July. It is Kydex, and here's what's cool about it. You have a couple different options, okay? You can have just the regular Kydex, or you can also go with the carbon fiber finish. I went Kydex black. Inside, you have an option for a leather lining. You can get a brown leather lining if you want it, or a black leather lining. I decided to go with the black leather lining. You can avoid that option if you want to and just have raw Kydex inside of it, but I didn't want to worry about that scratching up the finish and wearing the finish out, although this might do the same. I have no idea, but I like the leather lining better, and it was only a couple bucks more. So $39 for the standard Kydex black holster. If you go with the black leather inside or the brown leather inside, by the way, they're sold out of black leather because I bought the last one, so somebody's going to get foosed. Anyway, brown leather inside on this one's going to bump it up to $44. I think I paid I think it was $44 before shipping and tax. And I'm hoping that the cut of the Kydex isn't affected by that aftermarket grip. Just looking at it on both sides, I don't think it's going to affect it. I think I'm going to be okay because that pistol grip, that Fab Defense pistol grip, it is fairly thin up here towards the top. So once we get it all put together, then we'll decide if this is going to be the specific carry holster I'm going to use. Price, $44. I mean, you know, Kydex holsters run anywhere between basically $20 and $60, $20 to $80, depending on the manufacturer, all right? a couple cons about this one. You don't have an adjustable cant. It comes with whatever tilt angle it comes with from the factory. And I don't know if that's like a 10-degree cant or a 15-degree cant, but that's pretty much going to be something you're going to have to watch out for when you actually get it. It is cool, though. It is handmade by a small company. It's not like it comes from like a China off an assembly line or anything like that, right? So I'm supporting a small business, although it is over in Europe. So VL Tacticals offers one of the few true custom holsters designed for the Makarov. And there's a ton of nylon soft holsters you can get for it out there on eBay and Etsy. There's leather options if you want them. But I want it inside the waistband, as this is going to be my a carry weapon in the rotation. Okay, moving on. Ammunition. Gunsholstersandgear.com. I'll put links to all this stuff in the description box of the video here eventually. Gunholstersandgear.com did a 2019 article over 9x18 Makarov ammunition for self-defense. There are a lot of options out there for self-defense ammo because the Makarov round, while it's not anemic, it's less powerful than your defensive 9mm parabellum loads, but more powerful than the 380 ACP, okay? And so as of 2019, they were reporting that you can pick up, and I've seen this on ammoseek.com, Silver Bear 9mm Makarov hollow point ammo, bimetal hollow point ammunition, 50 rounds. I don't know about the prices. I think the prices on this ammo is probably $15 to $20 a box for everything that we're about to cover here. 94 grain, and it looks like it runs at 1,014 feet per second. Here's the other thing. I can't recommend that you run plus P ammunition through the Makarov pistol because, first of all, I have no experience with it. I don't know if you should. And the plus P ammo is not loaded to a SAMI spec. And you're going to be running plus P ammunition through a Makarov at your own risk. If your gun can handle it and it doesn't blow up, hey, more power to you. You do that. Otherwise, I'm going to be sticking with basically commercial production, I guess you could say civilian line self-defense ammunition, okay? There's also some Buffalo Bore plus P, so if you want something a little bit hotter, use at your own risk. We've got 1,125 feet per second with 267 foot-pounds of energy in a 95 grain jacketed hollow point. And so that's another option you can get out there. And by the way, this ammunition, any of these ammunition lines could basically disappear at any time because some of these go into production, then they go out of production, and you have to scour around to find them. Now, my choice is going to be the Hornady Critical Defense, mainly because we run that in all the 9mm in the house, and it's always been very reliable. Now, 9x18 Makarov, not the same thing, but I've seen the ballistics tests on this, and again, a ballistics gel test, take it with a grain of salt. It's not canon, it's not religion, but in the ballistics gel test, this shoots between 10 and 12 inches of ballistics gel with a 100% functional opening of the hollow point round. So in my opinion, it's going to give you one of the most effective rounds that you can use in a Makarov chambering. Okay, now some people say, well, just run full metal jacket, over penetration is not going to be an issue. I don't want to risk it. I want to go with what I know is a good ammunition. You've got these nickel cases that'll avoid oxidation. You've got a low flash powder. You've got the little polymer tip that will help prevent pre-expansion as it passes through layers of fabric. And that's just what I'm going to go with. It's about $19 a box. I got 2 boxes of it on the way, as I can't buy this locally, unfortunately. But Hornady does make it. They also made a Hornady custom with a different bullet in it. I think I'm going to show that here in a second. The custom is out of production, but a few other companies still use that bullet in the ammo that they manufacture. Now, there's also PPU. Privy Partisan also makes an ammunition for it. This is a 95 grain hollow point that runs at 1,017 feet per second. Most of this ammo, you can pretty much expect it to run between like 200 and 250 foot-pounds of energy at the muzzle. Okay, so that is your PPU ammunition. Okay, moving on. There's also an Underwood. Underwood offers 2 different types of ammo. So we've got the Hornady XTP bullet, which is what used to be in the Makarov custom load. And this is a 9x18, obviously. I don't know about the grain weight on this one. 95 grain round that runs at 1,150 feet per second. And I'm not sure about the energy on it. It is a plus P round that is not loaded to SAMI specs, just so you know. May be a big deal with you, may not. I'll let you guys debate that down below in the comments. And then you can also get the Underwood with the Lehigh Defense Extreme Penetrator bullet. So this is an all copper bullet. I have never tested this ammo before. I know it is a very effective round in the ballistics gel testing that I've seen. It runs at 1,050 feet per second. I don't know what the grain weight is, but typically copper bullet ammo tends to be a lot lighter, obviously, than your lead or your bimetal bullets. So that is an option for you, too. If you want to go that route, you can. Obviously, you want to test it, make sure it's going to feed reliably, chrono it, and so on. And we'll do that with mine. We'll get the chronograph out, and we'll see what it runs when we get there. What else do we have? Then there's some discontinued loads. You can still find some of the Corbon out there. There's a 70 grain Powerball, which if you call them and do a custom order on it, they will send it to you, so long as it's still in production. But I have trouble finding the Powerball line on the shelves. And the Powerball ammo has a little polymer ball in front of the hollow point, and that allows for better expansion and penetration. And it's also a pretty hot round. It runs 1,250 feet per second and 242 foot-pounds of energy. Now that one apparently you have to call for availability, just to let you know. And then, like I said, they also make a core bond hollow point load that you can get that you can still find. And I think that's pretty much it. Then they talk about rounds that are no longer available. So again, I'll put a link to this article at the end of, or in the description box for this video once we finish up. So it seems like I'm kind of mall ninjaing up the Makarov. I'm putting a lot more kind of fluff into it than is absolutely necessary. Part of it, I would just prefer to try a different grip, something a little bit meatier that's going to fit my palms better, and that's just me. Also, I'd like to have that extended beaver tail to prevent any kind of slide bite because my hand does ride a little high on the slide. I've only got about a 1/4 inch from the back of the slide with the full grip. Well, a little bit more than a 1/4 inch. Sides are fine, but they are options to change out. And then the spring, I'm going to replace it just to be safe because I don't ever want to have any kind of feeding issues and so on. Again, simply because I don't know the round count on this firearm. Okay, so that's it. That's my little discussion over the performance parts that we'll be putting on the Makarov pistol to enhance carryability. I'm not modifying the trigger. I'm hoping I'm not modifying it in any kind of way that would affect me in the event of a self-defense shooting. God forbid that happens. But I also want the pistol to be more usable, in my opinion, more accurate, quicker to reload, and so on. And that's just my opinion. So anyway, guys, that's it. Thanks for watching today. Make sure you check out my channel, Travis P1Mun. Make sure you like and subscribe. We've also got a podcast that we do on Saturday mornings at 8 a.m. Central Time called Caliber Corner. And on Caliber Corner, we discuss firearms, ammo, prepping, a little bit of everything. We try to keep it as family friendly as possible too, just so you know. But otherwise, that's it. You can check us out on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, obviously, UGEtube, guntube.org, Gunstreamer, anywhere I can get posted, we are there. So you guys have fun, take care, be safe, go take your Makarov to the range and shoot it. It misses you. And as you know, we will talk to you soon. All right, bye-bye.